where they're trying to sort of keep track of your money movements, your jewelry, what you eat, where you go, how you sleep, where you holiday, go to sleep, whatever. I mean, are we really moving into that kind of a format? And is the Congress Party visualizing that such a thing is maybe happening to us?
Well, I sincerely hope that the grim scenario that you present doesn't turn out to be a reality. There is a press conference at 4:30 by the Honorable Finance Minister, and I'm sure these questions you can ask at that press conference. But I want to make a point. If the RBI form is mandatory for the housewife, for the daily wage earner, for the small trader, for the student, that would be harassment, pure and simple harassment. I simply hope that RBI will not buckle under any pressure and impose this mandatory form on anyone who comes to exchange 2 500 rupee notes or 1,000 rupee note. That will be pure and simple harassment, and the Congress Party will strongly condemn that, if that happens.
Then I'll come to you.
Mr. Chidambaram, you said that successive governments considered this step but did not implement it for some reason. So in that light, do you think this step of the government is bold, or is this government displaying a larger risk-bearing capacity, which is a good economic principle? Because profit is the reward of risk-bearing.
You see, the government has taken a decision. I have flagged some questions, answers to which will decide whether there is economic wisdom behind the decision. But I'm not questioning the objectives of this decision. The objective is to stamp out black money. That we support. But whether the objective will be achieved alone will decide whether this decision was a good decision or a bad decision, and whether this was a risk worth taking. All I said is a matter of fact. Yes, this has been considered from time to time, but the consensus was that perhaps the economic gains were not big enough to take this decision at that time.
Sir, do you think this unprecedented move on the black money of the Prime Minister is a real trump of Modi?
Should ask the new president-elect of the United States. No. See, I don't know. I'm a little worried about the timing also. You see, somewhere I read in one of the papers today that some 40,000 marriages will take place in Delhi alone over the next few days. And this month between November 15 and December 15 is expected to witness some, I don't know, 1 million, 5 million marriages all over the country. Now, between now and November 15, people will go and exchange their notes. People will ask for withdrawal of money. How is the government going to handle it? I don't know. That's why I took the trouble of meeting you today to point out that, given that we are on November 9, and given that banks are closed today and they are opening tomorrow and they are allowing 4,000 rupees or something to be withdrawn, how are they going to handle the implementation of the decision? They took the decision, so they must implement it. We support the objectives, but in the manner in which you implement it alone, we will decide whether this is a wise decision or not. I don't know. I mean, the next marriage I attend, I will ask them how they handled it. Yes.
It's only one day open on 11th.
We'll see. That's why the timing is a little surprising. You see, I can't now put a date and a month and all. I said yes. Among many steps that are considered by government from time to time, one of them was demonetization of high denomination notes. But it was then felt that perhaps the economic gains were not so great. There is an editorial in the Economic Times today which more or less reflects that point of view. But I agree, there can be another point of view. There can be another point of view which say, yes, the economic gains outweigh the inconvenience. But that proof of the pudding is in the eating, na? We'll have to wait and see whether the economic gains outweigh the inconvenience or the disruption to the economy. There will be disruption, there will be contraction in economic activity in the next few days. Question is, can it be contained within a few days and we go back to normal economic activity? Or will the pain continue for a long time? That is the question.
Second last question, Subodh.
Sir, your statement is more in the form of question on how it will pan out and how it will be implemented.
I know this government does not like asking questions, but why don't you appreciate?
I am perfectly fine with the question, but the other statements from the parties that have come, including from Rahul Gandhi, is in the form of a very strong attack on the government for inconveniencing a certain group and for the timing. So is the party unsure that you are more in the form of question?
I mean, I may be a little more academic in my questions, that's all. But I have asked, I believe, important questions. And I'm sure that your editors will ask the same questions. And government must answer these questions. If other leaders of the party have expressed their view, I'm sure that is the party's view. But in the discussion, in the deliberation, I'm raising serious questions which deserve to be answered.
So you said in your experience,
One second.
you have expressed apprehension that the government move will lead to surge in gold imports. As unaccounted money may take or seek refuge in gold or in gold jewelry. But most of this unaccounted wealth or income is stashed in cash, and which may be in the currency note of 500 and 1,000. So how do you think it will surge?
I don't know. There is no empirical evidence to show that storage today is in the form of cash. On the contrary, there is empirical evidence to show that most people hide their unaccounted wealth and income in real estate, construction, bullion, gold jewelry and shares. That's the empirical evidence. But if you know, you have information about people stashing cash in gunny bags and suitcases, I don't have that information.
Last question, Dada.
Chidambaram, one chief minister has come out with a very strong statement. The decision is taken by Mangli Adda. How do you look at
Who's that?
Mamta Banerjee?
Well, I don't use strong language, nor do I use euphoric phrases like someone used here. I remain within the discipline of thought, analysis, and questions. I have raised questions. I have repeatedly say this will cause disruption, contraction of economic activity. How well the government handles this is important. And secondly, legitimate money, when it is brought to the bank, must be immediately exchanged. If there is harassment, if there is inconvenience, if there is mandatory RBI forms, then that is pure and simple harassment which will be condemned. 99% of the people who bring the money to the bank will be legitimate owners and holders of that money. Yesterday, a journalist telephoned me to say, he stroke she, I'm not revealing the gender, he stroke she withdrew 20,000 rupees for household expenses, and he stroke she had no other currency except 500 rupee notes. Now that is legitimate money. If he stroke she goes to the bank tomorrow to exchange that 20,000 rupees, the bank must immediately give the person 20,000 rupees in new currency. That will be the test. People are waiting and watching to see what will happen tomorrow.
Thank you.
Just a clarification before we go on to say Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Chidambaram.